Alright guys, welcome back to my channel. I've been hearing a lot about this incident. In this video, I'm going to show two videos. This was my WLWT, Cincinnati police share body camera video after suspect shot, killed by officers.
Thank you so much. We are leading the way on that breaking news today. Cincinnati police sharing new details about a chase that led to a suspect being shot and killed by police over in East Price Hill.
The mayor and Cincinnati's police chief sharing body camera video of the incident. WLWT News 5's Danielle Dindak heard from Chief Thigi directly. Danielle, what did that video show?
Yeah, Stephen, this all unfolded very, very quickly. We're talking about 6 seconds from the time that officer got out of his vehicle until he shot and killed that armed suspect. So I want to have you take a look at some of this video as I explain to you what Chief Thigi broke down for us today. So she said this all started with a stolen Kia out of Edgewood, Kentucky that was spotted at the complex on Warsaw Avenue. When officers arrived, they saw four suspects take off running. Thigi said officers took different suspects.
So what I'm hearing from this incident, that these four suspects were standing around a stolen vehicle in this apartment complex. And that is what the officers are responding to. And the suspects take off on foot.
Suspects to follow. One suspect was armed with a gun and at one point with officers.
This is the suspect they said had a weapon. In this interaction right here is where they see the officer believed he saw this suspect point a weapon at him.
One suspect was armed with a gun and at one point with officers saying he did hit the ground and that gun hit the ground. That person then ran between the dumpsters and officers yelled out that that person had a gun. Another officer who was chasing another person at the time came in contact with that armed suspect, and that's when that officer fired off 4 to 5 shots. That man was hit twice and then was given medical care right away, but he did die. Officers did find a gun on him with an extended magazine and another in his pocket.
Unfortunately, this is a potential outcome when you interact with police and you are armed with a weapon, whether it's an edged weapon, a firearm, or if you fail to comply, you're armed and you fail to comply with what an officer says. This is where we end up. And it is unfortunate, it is preventable, and no officer wants to go through this. I don't want families to go through this. But at the end of the day, we have to provide the safest city that we can provide.
Now, Thigi did go on to say that during an interview.
I ain't gonna lie, she was not very PC, politically correct. She was a straightforward chief. She said what she needed to say.
The officer said that the suspect pointed a gun at him. He did feel threatened, and he did feel threatened for his life. Now, we also learned that there was another stolen gun found in that stolen car. Lots to unpack here, and we'll have much more coming up for you later on at 4, 5, and 6. Reporting live, Danielle Dindak, WLWT News 5.
Danielle Dindak leading the way for us on this story. Danielle, thank you so much. Now, there were other suspects involved here. 2 of them in that stolen vehicle were eventually apprehended, and they made their first court appearances this morning. Jarrell Austin and DeAnthony Bullocks are accused of receiving stolen property and obstructing official business. A 4th person is still on the run. Austin is being held on a $50,000 bond. Bullock's bond is set at $40,000.
So the thing about that, I wonder how they charged these kids with the stolen vehicle or whatever. Because if you don't have camera footage, unless the officer can identify who's in the driver's seat, then you don't have a UCW. If you just saw these guys standing around, they had to be inside the vehicle. If they were just standing around it, you really don't have something then. But if they were inside and then they took off on foot, you can kind of piece it together that, you know, they have something to do with the stolen vehicle. And then they took off, you know, through the woods.
Recently retired sheriff's deputy is dead after police say a driver intentionally hit him. Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Tricia Mackey.
And I'm Rob Williams. Cincinnati police say the driver is the father of an 18-year-old who was shot and killed by police yesterday.
Yes, that is correct. The father of the teen that harmed in that last incident did strike a deputy and end him. In revenge, of course.
Yesterday.
We have been following this story all day, and we have team coverage tonight.
Allie Hennard is at UC Medical Center.
Brady Williams attended a procession for the deputy.
But first, let's send it over to Allie with more on how this all unfolded.
Well, Rob, Tricia, that's right. So the deputy lost his life to those injuries here at UC Medical Center earlier today. Now, we do know, according to Cincinnati Police Chief Teresa Thigi, the driver of the vehicle that hit and killed the deputy was the father of the man killed in an officer-involved shooting yesterday. Now, police say that he's been arrested for aggravated murder.
You can already tell that's a open and shut case. You're the father of a teen that was unalived by a officer, so you targeted him because you want to get revenge for your son.
Driver of today's vehicle that struck a deputy has a family relationship with the 18-year-old that we shot yesterday.
Cincinnati police say the father of the 18-year-old who was shot and killed by Cincinnati police on Thursday was driving the car that hit and killed a deputy Friday afternoon. Rodney Hinton Jr. is now charged with aggravated murder for the deputy's death.
So because you couldn't keep your son, on the straight path, keep him away from all these, kids that can't stay out of trouble, and he's hanging out probably all times of the day with stolen vehicles, stolen guns, most likely out there doing crime. Now you're mad at another man and take his life because you couldn't raise your son. Right.
Go medical. Go medical. We need this shut down right now. Officer down. Officer down.
Cincinnati police say the deputy was directing traffic ahead of UC's graduation ceremony when he was struck by a vehicle entering the intersection. It happened around 1 p.m. at the intersection of Martin Luther King Drive and Burnett Woods Drive near UC's campus.
I think what is significant for people to know about this accident is the officer was just out doing his job, directing traffic up near the University of Cincinnati for what was supposed to be a glorious day for many.
After 2 critical incidents in 2 days, Chief Thigi made a plea to the public.
Let the processes play out. Let the investigations play out. Keep calm, take care of one another, and I can assure you, as the Chief of Police for Cincinnati, I will ensure you transparency and a thorough and accurate investigation.
The deputy had recently retired from the department in December.
What do you get out of taking the life of somebody that had nothing to do with your situation? You're not getting back for your son. That guy had nothing to do with it. It makes no sense.
Well, investigators said that this afternoon that he is in critical condition but is alive. Again, he has been charged, or rather arrested, for aggravated murder of hitting and killing that deputy. It is not clear when he will be in court, but again, this is a developing story. We will continue to keep you updated. At UC Medical Center with photojournalist Chris Waldman, Allie Hennard, Fox 19 Now.
All right, y'all, that's the video. That's a crazy situation. Like a kid hanging out with other, kids, stolen vehicle, stolen gun, running from the police, pointed a gun at the officer. Officer has to protect himself. Then his father takes the life of an innocent man that probably never did anything. It was just directing traffic. He's retired, believing he's going to go home to his family, and you just take his life.